Welcome to the Once Upon a Sunday Fantasy Football Podcast with your hosts, Josh Kimmel, Dave Campbell, and Justin Bowerly.
Welcome to Once Upon a Sunday Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Josh, and yes, this is Wednesday, and we're here live noon to talk about the start sits, the showdowns of the week. We're usually 8 p.m., but for you listeners and viewers just tuning in, we have moved the show to noon every single Wednesday moving forward. It just helps out logistically, and plus, come on, 8 o'clock, you'd rather watch Friends, wouldn't you? Or The Big Bang Theory? Possibly The Office. I'm not sure. Whatever rows your boat, that's what you go with. I personally go with The Office. Justin, where do you go with? Oh, doesn't matter because you're not even here yet. We're going to be talking about some exciting matchups, some guys we talked about yesterday, some guys we're going to talk about today, and of course in the future. So let's bring in Justin Bowerly, my guest host. Who are you? You're the Office guy, right? You sit there and watch The Office?
Occasionally. I mean, that's one of the shows that will between The Office, Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is our current go-to.
Okay.
Watching Gilmore Girls right now, so
Can't relate.
a lot of
I'm
different
more of a Seinfeld. I'm old, man. I'm old.
My wife would watch Seinfeld with you.
Okay, cool. You don't? You're not funny? You don't like funny things?
I mean, I'll watch it if it's on. It's not one of my go-tos.
When I watch The Office nowadays, and yes, this is a fantasy show, I realize how old I am and how dated that show really is. That's all I'm going to say. Some of the stuff that made it on air will not make it on air today. But we are here to talk about LaPorta and some other people today. But we have some news, some interesting news coming out of Kansas City. And apparently, the Chiefs have acquired old busted DeAndre Hopkins.
Old busted.
And I don't know whether to be excited, surprised, happy. I don't know. I'm just, hearing this news when I wake up this morning that it's going to happen. And as soon as I log in today, Justin's like, so do you want to talk about the news? I'm like, sure. I guess we'll talk about Hopkins to the Chiefs and what it means. So Justin, what's going on with this situation?
Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins was traded to the Chiefs this morning. It was the first thing I saw when I woke up. It literally just broke at that moment. Had to quickly, obviously, get that out there because our social media guy is on the West Coast and wasn't awake at that time. So DeAndre Hopkins traded for a conditional 5th-round pick that can become a 4th-round pick. This is the 3rd year in a row where the Chiefs have to go and get a wide receiver in the middle of the season. And I had this up. The last couple of wide receivers that they have gone and got include Kadarius Toney in 2022 and then Mecole Hardman last year in 2023. Everybody honestly thought Marquez Valdes-Scantling was going to come back, but he went to the Saints. The Chiefs were also apparently trying to get Cooper Kupp, but wanted the Rams to take the majority of that contract on, and the Rams said no. So here we go, DeAndre Hopkins to the Chiefs.
I'm okay with it. At least it's better than what they have. Anyone's better than what they have at this point. Yeah. We'll be talking about one of those receivers today, unfortunately. But man, DeAndre Hopkins is going to make this team a little bit better. It makes me feel better about Mahomes, my Mahomes shares. I was never benching. I know he's quarterback 22, and I know he's been underwhelming. But this is more on Mahomes than I do feel good about Hopkins. As in, he's going to get a little bit more touchdown production, a little bit more yardage production. But I'm not expecting wide receiver 1 numbers from DeAndre Hopkins at the stage of his age. He didn't do it before. He hasn't done it in a while. He hasn't done it since Kyler. So I'm really not excited for DeAndre Hopkins at all. I'm not. Like, are you? Is anyone hyped for DeAndre Hopkins?
I mean, I think everybody is hoping that DeAndre Hopkins can be what he was with the Texans, because he hasn't been anything with the Titans. And if he can be remotely good with a good quarterback, that's great. He's not a free agent in any of the leagues that I'm in, so that kind of is a bummer. But hey, hopefully he does well. Hopefully he does well. Actually, I lied. He is a free agent in one league. I did put a waiver claim because he was dropped yesterday.
Ooh, bad times. He had 1,000 yards last season. He's not Julio Jones bad when he was in his twilight career, right? Julio Jones just fell off the face of the earth. DeAndre Hopkins is still putting up numbers, 1,000 yards, but really for your fantasy team, not so much. If you look at his game log last year, 2023, he only had about I'm looking at it right now, 4 or 5 top 20 finishes. The rest are 38, 61, 62. So
Yeah.
you can average 60 something yards a game and still get 1,000 yards. You don't want 60 something yards a game for your fantasy receivers. You just don't. They're not a wide receiver 1 or 2.
No, and even last year he even finished as wide receiver 22, which was serviceable. That's pretty good. I completely forgot he was in Arizona for 3 years until literally just now, but
I
that's
said Kyler. I said since the Kyler years.
really cared. Uh, he hasn't been good since 2020, which was his wide receiver 4 season, his first year with Arizona. So now he's going to a good team. So this should hopefully be good for DeAndre Hopkins, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce.
I don't know.
Worthy.
Xavier, just stop.
It might be good for some of these guys. It might be good. It might open them up.
I'm so overworthy. I'm over it. But do you want to get into the showdowns now, or do we want to tell this person that Tyler Boyd is not a good pickup option?
So Tyler Boyd wasn't a good option with DeAndre Hopkins. And I mean, DeAndre Hopkins wasn't commanding a lot already. So
I don't know. If you're desperate and you need someone,
if you're absolutely desperate, I guess. If you were struggling, I mean, there are no bye weeks this week. So Tyler Boyd's never hit double digits. He did get 9 points last week. He had 5 targets, 5 receptions. So, I mean, that's good. The thing is about Tyler Boyd is since week 4, he has caught every single pass. In week 3, he only missed 1.
Dude, I'm feel sorry for Mateo in the chat for all you audio listeners. He's asking us now about like Mike Williams. Like, you must be down bad.
Oh, man.
You're asking for Mike Williams and Tyler Boyd, or this is a 16-team league. I'm not sure. But, man, there's got to be someone else out there. You didn't pick up Wan'Dale when we asked you to. You didn't pick up, you missed out on McMillan last night. I'd prefer Sterling Shepard over those two guys, to be completely honest with you. Now that Mike Evans is going to be missing multiple games and Godwin's out for the season, Baker's still going to bake and they're still going to sling the ball around. It's not going to be just McMillan. He's just a rookie. Sterling Shepard has produced this season for the limited time he's been on the field. Maybe Shepard's a guy, a sneaky 10-point a game player. I'd prefer him over a Tyler Boyd or a Mike Williams. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, 14-team PPR, McMillan or Coleman. We talked about McMillan a lot yesterday. I'm going the rookie.
You're so stupid. I'm gonna go the rookie as well. Oh gosh, that's such a bad McMillan. He's the number one option.
I have to go McMillan there. I mean, Coleman's got to fight Cooper, Kincaid, Shakir. McMillan has to fight K. Otten and Sterling Shepard
and Trey Palmer.
McMillan is the clear best wide receiver option for Tampa Bay right now. We'll see. Did you go and pick up McMillan in leagues like we told everybody else to do?
I tried. I
did. I got him in a couple. I'll bid on several, but
I didn't overspend. I didn't overspend on him. I overspent on Jameis for Superflex league, but I did not overspend on receivers.
I did spend some money on Jameis last night.
So. I spent $83 on Jameis in one league.
Did not spend that much money.
Someone said, and someone very upsetly needed a quarterback. You spent all your fab on a fourth quarterback, Superflex. Yeah, I did. Because my other quarterbacks are Drake May and AR5, and I don't think AR5 is not a quarterback. Yeah. So
yeah, no, I have a league where I have 9 quarterbacks, including taxi players, and I have 2 starters. Like, yeah, the rest of them are either have now been benched or they're injured, or it's bad. It's bad. So bad right now.
And Cap wants to know, which Cap, you're always here. I appreciate it. Chargers defense or Eagles defense? Quit the league. We don't play defenses.
If I had to pick one, I'd say Eagles defense, though. Kenyon Mitchell is amazing.
Yep, there we go. Eagles defense. I have one league where we run defenses still, and I've drafted Seattle, and I have not changed it since, and I don't even know if they're doing well. I couldn't tell you. I honestly could not tell you.
So defense is one of those positions because my home league, one of my home leagues has them, and I every week will go to the leaders and go to defense and just pick up whoever the highest one is
Back in my
I
day,
stream defense every week.
when I was a defensive player, when we had defenses in the majority of my leagues, I would just go, who's got the rookie quarterback? So this week I would try to aim for, I guess I would say the Titans, or because their quarterback situation's trash. You just want to pick six or a fumble six or any kind of turnovers. I root for turnover. Or the Giants are sneaky out there, man. They lead the league in sacks, which we'll get to them soon because we're talking about Stroud. Giants are sneaky if they're out there. I know you gave us Chargers versus or Eagles, but I like the Eagles. They sack a lot of players. Just looking for sacks, interceptions, and turnovers. That's what you want in your defense. But yeah, quit that league. Oh, he's doing some research, guys, on the fly.
Sorry, I'm caught here between the Eagles. Like, we're talking about defenses here, and actually the Chargers are
They're decent.
doing better than Philadelphia on
decent.
team defense. I mean, they've got 15 more points on the season, so maybe you do just go Chargers. And like I said, my strategy has always been just pick up whatever the highest one is. So.
Good strat, bro. All right, let's get into the. Sorry about that, Cap. I know you'll continue to listen. You know what? Hopefully, in these next couple showdowns, we'll give you some great advice. And to start with the quarterback position. I always get God on those transitions. I always forget.
Always do. I'm just like, nope, doing it.
And that's fine. So we have two quarterbacks. One just started last week and was a great quarterback acquisition, Russell Wilson, going against the New York Giants. And then we have CJ Stroud going against the Indianapolis Colts. Your Colts, right? We bleed blue. So I'm asking you, because you did all your research. You got your suit on. You look like Mr. ESPN today. Who are we going with? CJ Stroud, who's came off his worst week ever last week. Literally didn't even throw for 100 yards. Or Russell Wilson, who showed everyone that he's the GOAT.
So I'm going to start with Russell Wilson here first. Giants have the 8th ranked defense, 16th in coverage, which is middle of the league there. And he did put up a great performance against the 4th ranked coverage defense. That's pretty good. On the flip side, Stroud faces the 11th ranked defense. The Colts defense has actually gotten a lot better. They're 8th in coverage this season. And Stroud struggled last week against the 18th ranked defense, which was 7th in coverage with the Green Bay Packers. He did not do well. And nobody seems to want to talk about that except for me, apparently. But both the Packers and the Colts, and I'm comparing the Packers because they played them last week. They both rank in the 20s in pass rush defense. So whatever. But yeah, the Colts rush defense had a terrible 2 weeks and then has picked it up. They're 10th in the league right now. And DeForest Buckner could make a return, which will help both the pass and rush defense. So all of those things, Stroud is playing a tough defense. All things considered, he's playing a tough defense. He's also missing Nico Collins, which is the Colt killer, and Tank has been pretty much ineffective since Nico has been gone. Diggs leads the team in targets with 55, but Nico leads the team in yards with 567. They both have 3 touchdowns. Tank, on the other hand, only 194 yards on the season with 1 touchdown. That offense has not been doing as great as everybody would think they would be doing. In all things here, this seems like a trap for which one you're wanting to start. And I know I've been against Russell Wilson all season, but I'm starting Russell Wilson this week.
Wow.
I can't believe I'm saying that. I can't believe I'm saying that. 2 weeks ago to today, I'm starting Russell Wilson over CJ Stroud this week.
How the turntables. So I understand your pick there. I really do. CJ Stroud has struggled this season. That's not an understatement. He's only finished top 10 twice this season. We're going into week 8. That's not great. CJ Stroud, we're not used to seeing this. Actually, we've never seen him struggle because last year he was just a baller from day one. Again, 5.3 points last week is crazy. 86 passing yards. He passed worse than AR5, which is very, very, very difficult to do. Very difficult to do. The one good thing about this matchup right here is none of these quarterbacks have a rushing upside whatsoever. So that's out of the question. We don't have to go, well, this guy could rush for 50 yards, which is a touchdown. Yeah, we don't have to worry about that. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to who is throwing the ball to the receivers and scoring touchdowns. That's what I truly believe. I don't see CJ Stroud having a bad week back-to-back weeks. He's thrown a touchdown in every single game this year, except for last week against the Green Bay Packers. I do see him bouncing back. I really cannot see this offense not bouncing back with Stephon Diggs and all the weapons they have. Yes, Tank Dell has been struggling. I understand that. The Colts do give up 222 passing yards per game. That's on average. CJ Stroud's a little bit above average. We can all agree with that, right? You can agree with that, Justin. He's above average player. On the flip side, Russell Wilson's playing the Giants. They lead the NFL in sacks. They sack everybody. Now, I don't know. I didn't look up how much sacks the Pittsburgh Steelers have given up because, honestly, it's kind of irrelevant at this point because Justin Fields was the quarterback. And was he running around too much? Was he trying to extend plays when he shouldn't have? Russell Wilson's not going to give you that. He's going to throw the ball. He's going to get the ball out of his hand as soon as possible. He's going to try to not get sacked. On the flip side, the Giants are the sixth worst rushing defense in the entire league. I expect in our picks I gave you this morning, I expect this to be a heavy Najee game. I expect Najee Harris to be heavily involved, get the ball a ton, wear down that Giants defense, and get ball control. I want CJ Stroud for that reason. I just came off with the Russell Wilson love, and I told you guys he's going to be great and yada, 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 this and that. I just believe in my heart that CJ Stroud cannot fail 2 weeks back to back. And that's just a gut call. I'm going CJ Stroud. I'm going with my stud. I'm going with the guy who brought me there last year and who was supposed to bring me here this year. CJ Stroud it is for me.
I can't blame you for making a gut call because usually every week it's you coming in with the stats and me just coming up with the gut call every week. And we're both over 500 on our picks this year for what it's worth.
I have stats. I didn't read them all off.
You've missed 2 weeks of picks. You're 9-8 so far this season. That's fine. That's respectable. I'm 16-9. I'm 16-9. So if people out there want to know who to listen to, then
that's fine. That's fine.
No,
fine.
I don't hate you picking for CJ Stroud. Again, he is supposed to be the stud. He's going up against what everybody thinks is probably one of the weakest teams in the league, and that's totally fair. But if we're playing fantasy football off of the first 2 weeks, then yeah, 100% take CJ Stroud. But I'm factoring in the last 3 or 4 weeks, which the defense has done pretty well. I wouldn't start him.
Time of possession, though. How many times is AR5 going to turn the ball over in Texans territory where they have short fields? I'm also looking at that. A lot of people don't look at the football game, the football side of fantasy football. They just go, oh, this guy scores points. What's going to happen? Who's going to be in plus territory and more opportunities? That I do believe the Texans are going to have that more than.
Are we assuming that Richardson is just going to be an awful quarterback and not score like he did in the first week against Houston?
He's been awful all year.
Because he's played Houston before and he scored 27 points this season against Houston. So
he's been awful all year long.
Not all year is subjective. He was good week 1.
He threw a lot of Hail Marys
against Houston.
He threw a lot of Hail Marys, and they were caught. Let's see if they're caught this week. Let's see if he's thrown deep and these guys are catching it. Because let's be honest. Remember, I joked with you. I'm like, oh, cool. He completed 9 passes. Just 3 of them went for deep touchdowns. Cool. Let's see if that happens again. It didn't. It has not translated since week 1.
This is CJ Stroud versus Russell Wilson, not.
I know, but I'm just saying. So. This goes into my.
Yeah. All right. We'll see. We'll see on Monday who's right. Well, we'll see on Tuesday who is right because we won't know until late Monday night. So, and we'll both be asleep because we're old. So
we're very old. I was gonna stay up for that whole Monday Night Football game against the Buccaneers and Ravens. As soon as Mike Evans tore that hammy, I said, "My parlay is effed. I'm going to sleep."
All right.
Do you want to get into these questions before we go to the running backs?
Yeah, where are we at? I just got offered the 3-4 owner. Wait, what? Offered
he's 3 and 4.
Oh, good Lord. Dell and Dak for JJ or Nico. The owner that has Nico has no QB or receiver. Is it a pipe dream? You offered him that.
Oh, so you offered him Dell and Dak for JJ or Nico. Man, if you can score JJ for Dak. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Nico's probably a little cheaper to me. When's he coming back? I don't like buying injured players. I just don't like buying injured players. It's too risky. I'd shoot for JJ if you definitely can, but I doubt that's going to happen. Nico could possibly happen.
Nico hit short-term IR. He's been out for 2 weeks. He can't come back until at least week 10 against Detroit.
Yeah, because you know what? If you give him our tank back, it's like, oh, cool. You don't have Nico, but the same offense, same scheme. Maybe you could trick him into that. Do the Jedi mind trick. That's what I try to do. Or what I do, which some of you in my leagues know this. Say, hey, man, I'm trying to help you out, which is obviously the cliche thing, but it's literally true. You're trying to help him out. You're giving him a quarterback and a receiver. He needs them. You're helping him out.
I had Fields, but dropped him for Darnold. That's fine. I would have picked up Russell if I knew he was going to do good. So would everybody.
Listened.
Besides not starting Russell, would you start tight end Pat Freiermuth?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you have to, right?
Tight ends are so bad.
He's tight end 10. He's tight end 10. He's a top 12 tight end. You have to start him. I've been starting him. Does Hawkinson coming back help Darnold? I'm hearing Vikings going after Stafford. Vikings are not going after Stafford. That's a weird rumor.
You offer the Rams, listen to me. Whoever's in charge over there, both teams, offer them Sam Darnold in like a second or third, whatever it may be, for Kupp and Stafford. Like, just get them both. You guys are going to win the Super Bowl.
I mean,
you guys are going to win the NFC title. Like,
that's totally fair too, because then I mean, JJ McCarthy can learn behind Stafford, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
It'd be awesome. It'd be an awesome Madden trade, right? You got JJ, Kupp, Stafford, Hawkinson, Addison, Joe. It's a super team.
Yeah,
it'd be fun. Yeah, but if Hawkinson does come back, or when he comes back, of course it's going to help Darnold. It's going to help the entire offense. I can't wait for Hawkinson to come back.
Yeah. Next up.
Oh yeah, running back. All right, we're doing the same thing where we pick the player who just came back or just started the first game versus a underperforming player. I like this. This is the theme today. I'm assuming this is the theme.
So the theme was these players are very close to each other in the rankings this week, and one of them was drafted way higher than the other.
There we go. So Rachaad White versus Atlanta, or Nick Chubb versus Baltimore. I'll let you start it off again because I know you got all them statistics over there. I already have mine. I already know who I'm starting, so I'm gonna let you go.
I think I know too. So Chubb scored double digits in his return last week. Ford is still hurt, and he is the clear RB1. I mean, is that a question? He's performing. He scored a touchdown, which did help his point total. But he's got to battle Pierce Strong and Deontay Foreman. So the QB position is in question in Cleveland right now. DTR is going to be the starter, so we're expecting. Oh no, I'm sorry, Jameis Winston is going to be the starter, so that could air the ball out more. That does change things, and he might not hand the ball off as much, but it's Nick Chubb. You're going to hand Nick Chubb the ball. The Ravens do have the second best rush defense in the league and ranked first in tackles, which is going to hurt. However, the Ravens did give up 50.6 points to the running back position last week, which part of that was Rachaad White, who's our other matchup here. The Falcons ranked 20th in rush defense, so a lot worse than the Ravens. Even with the split carries with Irvin and Tucker, he still scored 29.1 points last week against the Ravens. However, 6 receptions off of 6 targets in the receiving game with 2 touchdowns equated for 25.1 points of his scoring. He only had 40 yards on the ground, so he wasn't really an effective rusher. He was an effective pass catcher. So thinking about those things, that's something that you will be thinking about. If you're in a standard league, I would not start Rachaad White. I would start Nick Chubb because Nick Chubb is a pure rusher. But if you're starting in a PPR league, Rachaad White might be your guy. And with Jameis Winston coming into play, they don't really have a wide receiver outside of Jerry Jeudy. I still lean Nick Chubb because he's got better opportunity to run the ball.
Okay. Man, we differ again. That's fine. We can differ.
I don't hate you for starting Rachaad White. It's just he also has to battle Sean Tucker and Bucky Irving for carries.
I understand. I pick up what you're putting down, but you're missing a couple points here. First off, what happens when the Cleveland Browns are down 21 and it's the second quarter?
That's fair. That's totally fair. You know what?
What's gonna happen?
You know what? I'm gonna go with Rachaad White. Actually,
No, you can't change. You can't change.
Yeah,
You
I
can't change.
can. That's
Nope,
the whole
nope,
point of
nope.
this
It's
show.
locked in. Locked.
No, it's
locked.
I
So
make the sheet.
what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen when the Buccaneers are down 14-0 against the Atlanta Falcons? You think he's only gonna get 6 catches? I'm willing to bet, and I'm not going to, but I'm willing to bet that this man, Rachaad White, gets double-digit targets this week. I'm willing to bet that on my entire life. I'm willing to bet that Sean Tucker's usage goes up because last week on Monday Night Football, I believe it was below 30% snap share, which is
it was pretty low.
Ridiculous, beyond ridiculous. So what you're going to have to do with Mike Evans and Godwin now, you're going to have to use Rachaad White more in the passing game. Yes, we've seen Jerick McKinnon be successful, or Boston Scott, or there's so many more people. Danny Woodhead. There's so many PPR running backs out there that were successful for so long because that was their role. Austin Eckler I'm not saying Rachaad White's Austin Eckler, but Austin Eckler doesn't need 1,000 yards to be relevant. He never has. He never will. You guys still started Austin Eckler. I'm not saying he is Austin Eckler, but in the role he plays, where he's not a very good running back in between the tackles, because he's not. Bucky Irvin and Sean Tucker are way better at that. So they have to figure something out where we don't have our all-pro, receiver in Chris Godwin. We don't have a Hall of Famer receiver, Mike Evans. We need to figure this out. You're going to see a lot of wheel routes. You're going to see a lot of Texas routes, a lot of screens. I think Rachaad White's going to be majorly involved in this offense, but not on the ground. It's going to be through the air because they have 3 running backs. 3 very good running backs. Sean Tucker was a man I called sleeper of that division way back when, and I'm so glad he finally came out. He's got to keep it going. That offensive coordinator over there, Todd Bowles, the head coach, he said, "Oh yeah, we're going to get them all involved." Well, he lied because Sean Tucker was not involved against Baltimore. He lied. So now he has to tell the truth and actually get Sean Tucker in there and let Rachaad White do his thing. I'm going Rachaad White for all those reasons I just said. It's easy for me. I think the Browns are going to get stomped. I don't think Nick Chubb's going to have a chance. You're looking at 10 carries for 30 yards. Cool. You hope he gets a touchdown. That hope of a touchdown, you're going to get in points in PPR leagues with Rachaad White. 6 points for a touchdown, 6 points for 6 catches. What's more? And then plus on those 6 catches, you get the yardage on top of that, and plus possibility of touchdowns. It's just higher upside for me, lower floor for Nick Chubb.
The Buccaneers said that they were going to get all of them involved, but go with the hot hand, by the way. So
Yeah.
Sean Tucker did not have the hot hand, so they didn't get the ball.
How could he get a hot hand if he's not getting the ball?
Well, maybe do well on your first carry.
Oh, yeah.
Just 5 carries.
One shot, baby. You got one shot. Here it is.
He did have 5.8 yards per carry, so that's
and they didn't use him.
I know, that's weird.
Yeah,
but
Todd Bowles is an idiot. What I tell you? Oh, I don't want to go into it.
Not even thinking about defenses. I would go with Rachaad White, all things considered.
Yeah. I made one person a believer.
Expected just be disappointed when Bucky Irving gets all the carries.
And then Rachaad White gets all the catches.
And he gets no receptions.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Next up.
Next up. Oh my God. You got to tell me which Robinson we're talking about when you text me. And I didn't even ask you. You just said Worthy versus Robinson. I'm like,
is there another relevant Robinson?
No. No, there's not. So I'm not even joking. Peek behind the curtain. I'm sitting here. I did my notes for Worthy. And I'm going, wow. Okay, I'm just picking Robinson no matter who it is because Worthy is not startable at all. So I don't even know why we're talking about Worthy. So now that I know it's Wan'Dale, go ahead. Tell me why we should start Worthy.
No, I've done the last 2 first. You go first.
But I have no notes on Wan'Dale except for...
Oh, my God. I'll give you the notes on Wan'Dale Robinson that is important because I actually took the least amount of notes here. He is second in the league in targets with 67. He gets 29.1% of the target share in New York, and he has 3 drops this season. That's all my notes on Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yeah, Wan'Dale Robinson.
67 targets, has the second most in the league.
Yeah, we've been talking about this since week 2.
I know.
We've been talking about this since week 2.
And people still have Xavier Worthy ranked higher than Wan'Dale Robinson.
I don't understand what's happening. So just to let everyone know, Rashee Rice still has more fantasy points than Xavier Worthy. That's truth. Like that's a fact. That's 1000% facts. Worthy hasn't even exceeded 200 yards in the air yet, and he's played every single game this season. Let me get my notes back because this is simple for me. He only is averaging 4.2 targets a game, which is beyond bad. Rashee Rice 64.9 points this year in PPR. Worthy 63.5. So he's gonna pass him. It just took him like 5 extra games to do it. He got 8 targets against San Francisco last week, so that's a positive, right? We're going to the right position. But what happens? What happens next when they get Hopkins? This guy is just an irrelevant player for them right now. They don't know how. They've drafted Hardman, Worthy, like so many guys in the first round, and they just don't know what to do with them. And I don't understand. They think speed is all you need, which is true in Madden, but it's not true in real life. And I don't understand what's happening.
I think they got spoiled with Tyreek Hill. He's fast. They got him in the 4th round. They figured out, well, let's get a better prospect and he'll be.
But it didn't work.
It hasn't happened. It
didn't work with Tony
or Sky Moore or literally any of them.
Yeah, it hasn't worked with any of them. So change your philosophy. Get a real receiver. Like Rashee Rice is a real receiver who can, I watched podcasts on clips. I didn't listen to them. I wish I did with Kyle Rudolph. I think it was with the Part of My Take guys. And he was talking about Brady and about how he's the only quarterback he's played with or that knows of like, hey, just get open. Like most quarterbacks focus on like, hey, run the corner route and you got to keep on running that corner route because I'm going to drop it over there. But like Tom would say, hey, man, if you're running the corner route and you see no one's behind you, just turn around. I'll throw you the ball. That's what Rashee Rice was doing. Rashee Rice was finding the soft spots in zones and being smart. And I'm pretty sure Mahomes is the same way as Brady is, hey, just get open. We've seen Kelsey do it for years. We've seen Rashee Rice do it for the first 3 weeks this season. I said it every single darn week every single week. Hey, he's the new Travis Kelsey. He's just finding the soft spots. Hopkins is going to give you that. Worthy is still a rookie. He doesn't really completely understand, maybe I should just slow down instead of just running this route that they tell me to run, and it's not getting open. I don't know. I'm sticking away from Worthy. If I roster him anywhere, I don't. If I one league because I have to. Yeah, that league sucks. And then I won last week. But yes, Rashee Rice. Xavier Worthy is a total non-factor. Wan'Dale Robinson is the plain simple starter. Who has him? Who has Wan'Dale below Xavier Worthy these days?
ECR.
Idiots.
Yeah.
No, I know I'm going to get dinged for that for being negative, but idiots.
So here's the thing. I'm starting Wan'Dale Robinson. I'm going to say that off the top. I'm starting Wan'Dale Robinson. However, I could see you wanting to start Worthy because the Raiders do rank last in coverage. They're the worst team in football against wide receivers, covering the wide receivers, everything. Now you got Patrick Mahomes and Xavier Worthy. They got to go up against Travis Kelsey, maybe DeAndre Hopkins this week. I doubt he gets any playing time. If he does, it's going to be very limited. I guess we saw Amari Cooper play already and Devontae Adams. So I guess we could see DeAndre Hopkins this weekend. He might only be getting 16.8% of the target share. Rashee Rice's targets are still in there. He does have 29 targets and 0 drops. So all of the catchable balls he's getting, he's making it work. And he has 3 games that are double digits out of the 6 that he's played. However, he is kind of touchdown dependent with a lot of things. And I think the game 5, he had to have rushing yards in there too, because he only had 3 receptions for 25 yards, but 11.8 points. So they're getting him worked into the offense. I think it's still just the fact that he's still a rookie. He's still learning the system. 16.3, 11.8, a bye week, and then 5.4, but had 8 targets. So that could have been a lot more. Just those balls were uncatchable. So against the 49ers, now you're going up against the worst team in the league against the pass. I could see a route for Xavier Worthy being a very startable player in fantasy and having a very good game this week. I'm just going to start the guy that has the second most targets in the league.
Just cut and paste what we've been saying about Scott, or not we, because I'm not going to put myself in that role. Cut and paste everything people said about Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, and MVS, and every other player that they tried to replace Tyreek with. You just said that. You just said everything that everyone else said about those players, and those players didn't work out. What makes me think that Worthy is going to be the golden?
Sky Moore has never even remotely been as good as Worthy has, at least. So
That's
He's at
true.
least better than Sky Moore. Sky Moore has been just utter
That's true.
garbage.
And for the people that are unaware of Wan'Dale's dominance, he's only received less than 8 targets in a game once. So it's not because of the Malik Neighbors injury. He was doing this with Malik Neighbors. So, and Wan'Dale, he's not, 50 yards, 36 yards, but the thing is 6 catches, 5 catches. He's giving you double-digit fantasy points every single week, except for week 2 when he only had 4 targets.
This is another one of those, like, PPR, 100% go Wan'Dale Robinson. Standard, I would go Xavier Worthy because he's also getting used in the running game. It looks like he's making more with the receptions that he's getting because he's a bigger, deep threat guy.
So I guess it's not a clear cut as I think it is, but it is. It is.
I think we're both going Wan'Dale. That's the thing. So it's, yeah.
All right, next.
Again, a guy that has been drafted way low versus a guy that's been drafted way high, and they're pretty even in the rankings.
They're not even in the stat production, though.
No, Sam LaPorta versus the Tennessee Titans, Hunter Henry versus the New York Jets. You want my stats, and then, or you go first.
I'm just going to give you guys some LaPorta because we had some LaPorta question in the chat earlier. Is this LaPorta week? LaPorta's only. How can I explain LaPorta to you people and to myself because I can't comprehend the drop off. Last year he had a 21.1% target share rate. That's really good for a tight end. That's where you want to be at the tight end position. This year he's at 9.8 target share, as in he's not been involved. He just clearly has been phased out of this offense. Not sure if he's staying in blocking. Not sure if they're just not getting targeted. But he has run 3 less routes per game since last year. So that's a little bit of a difference. I know it's only 3 routes per game, but if you add that up, it's a lot. It compounds into a lot. JMO is now suspended, so that might factor into LaPorta's usage. We hope, but again, we saw JMO get 0 last week. 0, like completely 0. And LaPorta, what did he do last week? I honestly can't remember because I started benching him. I haven't played LaPorta in a couple weeks. Actively have not played LaPorta unless I absolutely have to. I started Jonnu Smith over LaPorta last week because
that was a great move for you.
I know it was. I know.
Great move.
I know. Right? Give me a round
pat
of
on
applause.
the back right there.
Only double-digit game was week 6 because of a touchdown. Now let's go to the touchdowns. This has been heavily talked about in the offseason, especially on this show. In games where LaPorta did not score a touchdown in 2023, last year, he scored 8.83 points per game, less than 10 points a game when he did not score a touchdown last year. That's 10 games. 10 games he did not score a touchdown last year, and he averaged 8.83. So kind of he's doing what he did last year, except for way worse. His average, his ADOT for the professionals was 7.1 last year. It's down to 4.7. I don't know what they're doing with LaPorta. I don't know if Dan Campbell's like, yeah, this guy's awesome. You know what I'm going to do? We're just not going to use him. We're going to use him as a decoy. We're going to outsmart everybody.
And we're going to use our offensive linemen as decoys also, and receivers. And
I just don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're thinking. But
they're thinking winning football, not fantasy. So, and they've been winning football.
They're winning. They're winning. But that being said, the other team that we're talking about, the New England Patriots, they're not winning football games. And I don't think they're going to win football games anytime soon. And I'm so happy for this, by the way. All you New England fans can suck it. But the Patriots have been targeting Hunter Henry, especially Drake May. When Drake May got into this offense, man, again, another pat on the back. I started Drake May over AR5 last week. Let's go. I'm going to continue to do it because he's getting the ball downfield. He's getting the ball to Polk. He's getting the ball to Hunter Henry. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing from Hunter Henry. He's no longer he does have his off games. He does. He's either like dead last or he's top 5. There's no in between. But that being said, LaPorta's just dead last. Like he's just dead last every single week. I'm quitting LaPorta. I wouldn't mind dropping him, sending him to another team as a landmine while you sit pretty with Hunter Henry. That's who I'm going this week, and I'm not looking back, and you can't convince me otherwise.
So you said you're going to Hunter Henry, right?
Oh, yeah, Hunter Henry.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. LaPorta is 33rd in targets this season, which is not good. 14 total receptions. And he's got the Titans who only give up 4.5 points to the Titans this season. which is the second fewest. And they've gone against guys like Komet, Conklin, Kraft, Jonnu, Mo Alley Cox, and Dalton Kincaid. And I bet you can't guess who the top 2 tight ends against the Titans have been this year.
Mo Alley Cox.
Yeah.
Right?
And Dalton Kincaid. Yeah.
There was one game where I'm like, stop throwing to Mo Alley Cox.
Yeah, exactly.
Dalton
Kincaid got 8.2. Mo Alley Cox got 8.1 against the Titans. But everybody else, nobody has gotten over 5. So that's pretty good. Kincaid, LaPorta. Maybe the Titans defense is falling apart against the tight ends. Maybe this will be a big LaPorta game, but I don't see it because they'll only, like you said, only being targeted 9.8% of the time in Detroit. Henry, since May has been back, is now 7th in targets for the tight end position. And he takes up 20.9% of that target share for New England. He has a touchdown, 11 receptions, a lot of yards. He's second in air yards, tied with Kittle, only behind Cade Otton, which over the last 2 weeks. And he's got 30.3 points over the last 2 weeks. And the Jets give up the 9th fewest, which is better than the Titans. But they've gone up against Kittle, Chig, Henry / Hooper. Both had 2.9 points in that game. Nate Adkins, Johnny Munt, Kincaid / Knox, who scored 20 points, and then Freiermuth. I'm fully expecting Henry to do way better than LaPorta this week. Him and May seem to be like best friends.
Hold on. You said it right this year. You said it right the first time. I fully expect Hunter Henry to be better than Sam LaPorta this year than you went to this week. No, you can say the rest of the year.
This year. Yeah. And I'm just going to call it, I think the Patriots beat the Jets.
Oh, okay.
That's a bonus. That's a bonus.
That'd be fun. I used to give out my my upsets of the week, and I was doing really well. I stopped because of the hurricane, but I should get back on that. You know what? I would have lost because I would have picked the Bucks over the Ravens because I actually bet that in real life, and I would have lost. So I'm like 3-1 now. But yeah, that's our showdown show, man. We differed in the beginning, then we turned it around. Matter of fact, I talked you into Rachaad White, so I feel good about that. If he fails, I'm sorry to everyone listening, but I still believe in Rachaad White. We do have one more question in the chat from Chakra. And this one's it's very, I'll say it out loud. Trade Cup for Adams, PPR redraft. I hate positional trades just because, you're basically saying, I don't know what you're saying. Like, do you believe in Cup more than I do? That's what you're saying right now because you want to trade Cup for Devontae Adams.
Yeah. And then that's what you're saying is that you think Adams is going to be better than Cup this year, and Cup's coming back from injury, which is totally fair.
Or
Adams
you got offered it,
Aaron Rodgers,
or you got offered,
yeah, maybe somebody likes Cup more than they like Adams.
And if someone offered you that, and they want Cup, trade Cup, yeah, if they want Cup from you, and they offer that to you, that means they want Cup. That's a tell, as we call in the industry. So that's when you could counter and go, "Oh, you want my player." Well, I wouldn't mind your player, but I need a little bit extra on the side. See if you can try to work that out. That's what I would do because I'm a snake.
You are.
Because come on, seriously, when people come to me, and that means they want something from me, that means I don't need nothing from you, but I will take something from you. That's how I trade. That's how I do business. I know I'm a piece of shit. Yep. It's just the way I am. But I would prefer, gosh, I guess I'd prefer Cup over Adams.
Cup too. I feel like Aaron Rodgers has more people to throw the ball to, and right now,
he just won't quit Lazard.
So he literally will not quit Lazard. And we don't know if that's going to work out in New York. At least the Rams have a play caller that can actually play calls. I mean, call plays, calling plays. So this is similar to our Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts trade in Dynasty earlier this season, where you said Jalen Hurts is better. I said Lamar Jackson is better. And he has been. So
turns out Lamar's been better. Yeah, turns out
Lamar's been better. But you got a first round pick. I got a second round. So
yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm well aware of Lamar's greatness. All right. I'm well aware. You don't have to keep on rubbing it into my face. All right.
I mean, that's now. That might not be the end of the season. We never know. So
you never know.
that's the show.
Yeah, that wraps up the Showdown. Wednesday, we're going to be here every single Wednesday at noon. We had a lot of viewers today, so thank you so much. Everyone that tuned in, if we answered your question, Cat for Life, Mateo, Chaka, I'm sure I'm missing a couple, but I don't want to scroll up a little bit more. Hit that like button. Make sure you sub if you're not. Tell a friend. Let people know, hey, these guys are here. They're direct. They'll answer your questions. We don't pull no BS. We're not talking out of both sides of our mouths. We tell you how it is. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you to Sean and Derek for helping out the show as well, both on the editing team and the social media team. Thank you, Justin. We're out of here. Peace out.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. Follow on X and Instagram at OUSFFPOD. We'll be back next week for more ways to win your league.